Hi, it's Mark Donnigan, host of the Marketing Execution Podcast. I talk to a lot of startup founders who think the key to winning is just building a better product. But the truth is, better doesn't always win, but being different does. The companies that break through are building an entirely new one. That's what category design is all about. I've helped a lot of tech teams navigate this shift, and it changes everything from how you talk about your product to how the market sees you. So in this episode, we're getting real about what it takes to create your own space and own it.
Tune in, listen up, it's marketing time. Bright ideas sparking, blowing your mind. From strategies to big exec dreams. Catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Welcome to the Marketing Execution Podcast. This is the show for tech founders and leaders building B2B products and technologies. We show you how to go further, faster to get the business results you need.
From strategies to big exec dreams. Catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Mark, I've been thinking a lot about those companies that just appear. You know the ones? One day you've never heard of them, and the next they're the only name anyone talks about in their space. It feels like magic.
It's not magic, Tim. Yes, it feels like it, but is one of the most deliberate and frankly, most powerful go-to-market strategies out there. It's called category design.
Category design. I feel like it's a term that gets thrown around, but I don't think most founders really get what it means. It's not just a clever marketing slogan, is it?
Not even close. It's a fundamental shift in thinking. Most startups are obsessed with building a better product, a better mousetrap, right? They enter a crowded market and shout, "Hey, our mousetrap is 5% faster."
Right, and nobody cares.
Exactly, nobody cares. Category design isn't about building a better mousetrap. It's about inventing a teleportation device for mice that makes traps completely obsolete. You're not trying to be better. You're focused on being different. You create your own game.
Okay, I love that image. Creating your own gain. But that feels massive. How does a small startup with like 3 people and ramen for dinner even begin to pull that off?
It starts with a secret weapon that almost everyone overlooks. You have to find what I call your super consumer.
Super consumers. Okay, so not just our target demographic.
No, this is so much more specific. These aren't just people who might buy your product. These are the people who are already obsessed with the problem you solve. They're so desperate for a solution that they're out there MacGyvering their own solution.
Oh, I know these people. They're the ones using like 5 different spreadsheets and duct tape to jury rig a workflow because the perfect tool doesn't exist.
Yes, that's them. They are your buried treasure. They're already living in the future you're trying to build. You don't need to convince them the problem is real. They're losing sleep over it. Your job is to find them where they live.
So where do they live? How do you actually find them?
You become an anthropologist. You go to the niche subreddits. You lurk in the weirdly specific industry forums. You listen at conferences, not for the speakers, but for the people asking the most painful, insightful questions during the Q&A. You're looking for the frustration, the passion. Those are your people.
Wow, so you're not just looking for buyers, you're looking for co-conspirators almost.
You're looking for your founding tribe. You find 10 of them, treat them like gold, and build with them. They will become your evangelist and pull the rest of the market toward you. This is the stuff we talk about all the time on the Marketing Execution Podcast. It's about finding that tiny, powerful point of leverage.
Okay, that makes it feel so much more achievable. But what happens when you succeed? You create this new category, you're the king, but then others come for the crown. I mean, the market never stands still.
It never stands still. And that's where you have to understand a concept called category violence.
Category violence. That sounds intense.
It is. Think about Blockbuster. They were the undisputed king of the video rental category. They dominated, but they got comfortable. They saw the world through the lens of physical stores, and while they were sleeping, Netflix showed up and didn't just compete with them, they committed an act of category violence. They created a new category, streaming, that made the old one obsolete. Fatal blow.
Wow. So even if you create the category, you can be a victim of your own success. How do you avoid becoming the next Blockbuster?
You have to be willing to disrupt yourself. You have to listen to your super consumers because they'll be the canaries in a coal mine, signaling the next shift. And sometimes it means you have to acquire the future before it kills you.
Like a strategic acquisition, not just buying a competitor.
Exactly. Look at Disney. They didn't just keep making animated movies. They saw these new cultural powerhouses emerging, and they went out and bought Pixar. They bought Marvel. They bought Lucasfilm. They weren't just getting bigger, they were acquiring new categories, bringing the future under their own roof. That's radical M&A.
That's a whole other level of thinking. It's not just about offense, but about playing defense in a really aggressive way.
It's the grandmaster level of chess. But there is one final, even more audacious move.
Okay, I'm ready.
It's called the no ocean strategy. It's when you create a market that is so radically new, there's literally no one to compete with. You're not in a blue ocean or a red ocean. You're in no ocean.
How is that even possible? Give me an example.
Cirque du Soleil. Before them, what was the circus? Clowns, animal acts, a bit tired, mostly for kids. It was a dying category. Cirque looked at that and didn't try to build a better circus. They asked, what if we took the acrobatics and artistry, but blended it with theater, with sophisticated music, and aimed it at adults?
Yeah, they ditched the animals, ditched the cheesy stuff.
They created a completely new form of entertainment. They weren't competing with Barnum and Bailey anymore. They were competing with a high-end Broadway show or a concert. They created their own ocean where they were the only ship. That, Tim, is the pinnacle of category design. It's a mindset of pure creation.
This is completely reframing how I think about strategy. Okay, so this is all incredible, but let's get super practical for a founder listening to this right now. What does this mean for someone who's pre-product, maybe just has an idea and a little bit of cash?
That is the question, right? Because for that founder, category design feels like this huge, expensive mountaintop strategy, but it's not. The most powerful asset that founder has costs exactly $0. It's their point of view.
A point of view. Okay, but is that just a mission statement with a bit more attitude? A lot of founders have a mission statement tacked on a wall.
No, it's so much deeper. A mission statement is about what you want to do. A category point of view is a declaration about a problem in the world that is fundamentally wrong and needs to be fixed. It's not about you, it's about the change the world needs. It's asking, why does this new way of doing things need to exist?
Okay, that feels different. It's more of an argument, a manifesto almost.
Exactly. It's a manifesto. And it starts by understanding people on a level they don't even understand themselves. I mean, think about the classic Henry Ford line. If he'd asked people what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse.
Right, they couldn't imagine the car because it didn't exist. They were stuck in the current category of horse-drawn transportation.
You nailed it. He didn't build a better horse. He saw a different future. That's the key. You have to find a problem people don't even have the words for yet. Your job as a pre-product founder is to give them the words, to name the problem.
So you're basically a detective. You're out there observing, listening for the frustrations that people just accept as normal, the things they complain about but don't think can be fixed.
Yes, you have to be willing to question everything, the way things have always been done. And once you have that point of view, that core belief, then you can start to build a whole system. There's a framework I use for this. I call it the magic triangle.
The magic triangle. That's what we discussed in part 3 of the category design series, right?
Yes, it is. It's simple, really. Let's have a quick recap. Imagine a 3-legged stool. If one leg is short, the whole thing falls over, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The 3 legs are a breakthrough product, an innovative company model, and a powerful category design. You have to have all three. Most founders only focus on the first leg, the product. They build something amazing but have no idea how to design the business or the category around it, and they fail.
Oh man, I have seen that happen so many times. A brilliant product with a confusing business model or a story that just doesn't land. Can you give me an example of a company that got all three legs right?
Oh, absolutely. Let's look at Yeti, the cooler company.
Yeti. Okay, yeah, they came out of nowhere and just took over.
They totally did. So let's break it down. Leg one, the product. They didn't just make a slightly better cooler. They made an insanely durable, high-performance cooler for a very specific niche, hardcore fishing fanatics who'd pay anything for something that wouldn't break.
Right, the product was a breakthrough.
Exactly. Leg two, the company model. They were super smart. They focused on direct-to-consumer sales at first, high margins, direct relationship with their people.
And leg three, the category design.
This was their genius.
What was it?
They weren't selling coolers. They were selling a lifestyle. They built a brand around ruggedness, adventure, being part of an elite group that has the best gear. It tapped right into the emotions of their audience.
Wow, so they weren't just selling a plastic box, they were selling an identity, a badge of honor.
That's it. They created a movement people wanted to join. The product was a ticket in, but the category story was the reason people stayed. And the reason they paid $400 for a cooler. It's because the product, the company, and the category were all working together perfectly.
Okay, this is crystallizing for me. The POV is the soul, the triangle is the skeleton, but the super consumers are the lifeblood. We have to talk about how you actually find them and get them on your side.
Tim, let's get into how people can actually use this stuff. Finding those super consumers, it's not magic, it's a treasure hunt.
Yes, I am so ready for this. Give us the treasure map. Where do founders even begin looking for these people?
You go where the pain is. It's that simple. You become an anthropologist. You don't look for customers, you look for people who are obsessed with the problem your category solves.
Obsessed. Okay, so not just annoyed, genuinely obsessed.
Exactly. They're the ones in niche forums. They're deep in Reddit threads. They are complaining about the status quo. They are MacGyvering their own solutions with spreadsheets and duct tape because what they need doesn't exist yet.
So you're not looking for someone saying, I wish I had your product. You're looking for the person who built a terrible, clunky version of it themselves.
You got it. Think about the early days of Miro. They weren't just selling an online whiteboard. They found marketing teams who were trying to brainstorm remotely. These teams were using a crazy mix of tools, screenshots, email chains, PowerPoint. It was a mess.
They were feeling the pain every single day.
Every day. Miro found that group, the people who were already trying to solve the problem. They were the treasure. That's step one. Find the people who are already in motion.
Okay, that feels so much more real. Find the MacGyvers. So once you find, say, 10 or 20 of these people, what do? How do you turn them from frustrated individuals into a community?
This part is critical. You don't sell to them. You invite them in. You make them feel like co-founders. The most powerful thing a startup can do is create a small private Slack or Discord server.
A private club, basically.
A private club for the pioneers. You bring those first 20 people in and you say, we think this whole way of doing things is broken. You do too. Help us build the future.
Wow. So you're not building for them, you're building with them.
That's the whole game. You give them early access. You listen to every single word they say. You make them feel like they have real ownership over the direction of the product and the category.
Can you give me an example of a company that did this really well?
Figma. Figma is the masterclass in this. Before they were this massive SaaS company, they had a small, passionate group of designers in their beta. They treated that community like gold.
I remember that. People in the design world were talking about it.
Of course they were. Those first users became Figma's evangelists. They spread the word because they felt like they helped build it. They were part of the movement from day one. That trust, you cannot buy that with marketing dollar.
Okay, so you find your tribe of MacGyvers, you build a private clubhouse with them. What's the final piece to making this practical?
You give the problem a name. together. This is where your point of view becomes a rallying cry. Your job isn't to invent a clever name in a boardroom, it's to listen to your super consumers. What words do they use to describe their frustration?
So you're pulling the category name out of their own language.
Yes, you work with them to craft a simple sentence. We believe X is broken, and the new way to do it is Y. That Y becomes your category name.
Like a flag they can rally around.
It's everything. Look at the company Gong. They sell a tool that records sales calls, but they didn't call the category sales call recording software. That's boring. They called it revenue intelligence.
Ooh, that is so much more powerful.
Right? It created an enemy just guessing about your sales pipeline, and it created a new vision that their super consumers could get behind. It gave them a name for the future they wanted. That's how you turn a product into a movement.
Okay, Mark, this is gold. We've gone from the big ideas to the nitty-gritty of finding people and building a movement. Can you tie it all together for us? Summarize the whole journey from POV to practice.
Okay, let's land the plane on that. It all starts with a simple but huge shift in mindset. You're not trying to build a better version of what already exists. You're trying to create a totally different future. That begins with a powerful point of view, your manifesto for what's wrong with the world. You use that to find your super consumers, the people already trying to MacGyver a solution. You don't sell to them, you invite them into a private club and build with them. Together, you give the problem a name. That's the soul of your category. Then you build the whole system around it. A breakthrough product, an innovative company, and that powerful category story, the magic triangle. When all three legs are strong, you're not just the company anymore. You're a movement. You're the one who creates the future.
That's a perfect summary. So, for the founder and leaders who are listening and are honestly terrified of trying this, who are tempted to just build the better mousetrap because it feels safer, what's the one sentence you'd whisper in their ear to give them the courage to be different?
Stop trying to be the best player in someone else's game. The greatest founders don't win the game. They invent it. Go invent your game. The Marketing Execution Podcast is produced by Growth Stage Marketing. We are on a mission to see your company reach wild success using marketing pods.
Too big, accept dreams. Catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Thank you for listening and being a part of the marketing execution movement and community. To learn how growth stage marketing clients reach more buyers and drive business impact, go to growthstage.marketing. That's growthstage.marketing.